Good evening. Let's call the meeting of Lake Park Audubon School Board to order. Let's start with roll call. Marge. Here. Cole. Here. Sarah. Here. Susan. Here. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Can I get somebody to approve our agenda?
I so moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Agenda passes. 2.1, recognition to the visitors to the board meeting. We have no visitors tonight other than who are just watching. 3.0, board reports. We have 3.1, Raider Pride. Committee, Marge.
In a short version, we had our very first meeting. We covered athletics, fine arts, and the different goals that we want to set up for those. Objectives for those, coaching activities, activity recommendations, improvements involving putting positives on the radar. So that's kind of a short consensus of what we did.
Perfect, thank you. 3.2, ECFE and Community Ed. The attendance was presented in ECFE classes. We had open spots available in our 3-year-old classroom. Attendance was presented in Raider Care and the needs were addressed for increased staffing. Committee is looking into information options for the families picking up from Raider Care while upholding the safety of our district. The committee was informed of summer rec procedures and we discussed upcoming community ed classes and ideas for future classes. We discussed ideas and interest to increase our community involvement in our district. And we discussed increasing the length time of our summer day camp to open, how long it is open to increase our support for families in our community.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Just want to touch on a couple of those items. The Raider Pride and the ECFE Community Ed meetings, I felt like they were very productive meetings. I just want to throw that out there. And also, speaking of community ed, myself, or the school district, the City of Lake Park Community Ed, and the Pumpkin Fest Committee are going to be sponsoring this together on Saturday, the Pumpkin Fest. Of course, I want to give credit to the Pumpkin Fest Committee. They're the ones doing all the work, but a letter has been agreed upon and we have all signed it. And I want to thank the City of Lake Park, the Pumpkin Fest Committee and the School District Community Ed for working together so that we could provide a bus. We're going to be providing a bus. So if anybody's asking questions out there, that's what we'll be doing. So thank you.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Berquist. Okay, consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yes, I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Consent agenda passes. 5.0 staff reports. We have the elementary principal.
Okay, well, good evening. This is my first one of these. You had to cut me a little slack. I just had some very general points on there that I'll speak to each of those, but first and foremost, it's wow. Like my short time here thus far has been wow. This is an amazing community. The teachers, the students, and the families have been nothing short of phenomenal, and I am so blessed to be here. I'm going to start to get emotional, but when Dr. Berquist the other night was talking about all the great things that are happening here, I wanted to stand up in the back and, hoot and holler and cheer. I want you to know as school board members, coming from an outside entity or an outside school district, this is a great place to be. Just to kind of sum things up here, the first 3 weeks of school, we're off to a great start. Just so you all know, I met with all the grade levels during the first week of school and we talked about expectations. Really focusing on those basics of walking, hands to self, bullying, name calling, and respecting all adults. That was kind of my theme when I met with the kids, the students and staff, just so you're aware of that. Kind of rolling into our PBIS update. All of the grade levels walked around the building and talked about expectations in each of the areas around school, which is always a must-do for PBIS in that program. Classrooms are earning class coins for meeting expectations. We've already had several rewards with those classes. You've probably seen it on Facebook or in our live feed. Kids are getting freezies, going outside, extra recess, those types of things. Super cool for them to be involved in that. And then in addition to that, I do tape morning announcements every day, and we acknowledge those classrooms at that time as well. We have a meeting this Friday. Our PBIS team are looking at adding some large school assemblies to go along with that PBIS piece, so super excited about that. Behavior update. So far this year, we have 26 behavior referrals, which is not bad at all. 19 of those are defiance and disrespect, which can be understood. You're rolling into a new year, kids are trying to get school again, and we're placing a very solid and sound effort on that respect piece. So it would make sense. A large majority of those are happening in the classroom setting, which also is understandable from my perspective. I will tell you, in this building, if you're not aware, kids get green slips for caught being good. And I will tell you that my hand gets sore from writing my name on all these green slips every day, and it's truly awesome, the amount of time and effort that we spend acknowledging those students for what they're doing the right way, the Raider way. Let's see, again, just that focus. All staff are focusing on kind of those hallway expectations, the name calling, the bullying, and respecting all staff. Doesn't matter your role in the building. As adults, we demand respect. And the same back to the students. And if those things aren't happening, we have those conversations and we try to make sure that it does the next time. Then finally, staffing update. We are fully staffed with our licensed staff here at the elementary school. We still are looking for 2 paraprofessionals to help out in our special education world. So if you know anyone, we'd love to have them come in. That's all I have. Obviously, there are dates listed of things coming up. I don't think we need to spend time on that. You can look at those if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Our enrollment, we're looking at about 300 students currently.
Well, thank you, and we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have a
Yes.
question. Just in the future, if you could put your name on the top of your updates, just because you are new to the community, and I just want everyone to remember who you are and what you're doing for our school.
Mhm.
And just for informational purposes, our pre-K is not wrapped up into the elementary school. Is that just, like, our numbers, is that geared towards early childhood and we have
Yes,
separate
it's
numbers for
towards early
that?
childhood.
Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
So it'd be in our K through 6 number count.
okay, so what count is that in, I guess,
It's in our preschool count, and we
Okay.
currently have 40.
okay,
I believe that the 40 was at the 20 in each classroom.
That is correct, Madam Chair, and probably the reason that they probably traditionally, historically don't put those in, Sarah, is because we don't get funding for preschool per se from the state. I just would suspect that was maybe part of it, but yeah, we can, Sir Johnson can surely put the preschool numbers on a rotating, on this basis as well, Mr. Johnson. That would be great, so. Thank you.
I guess my next question is, if they're not listed underneath the elementary school principal, where do these pre-K and preschool kids go if they need to go to the principal's office?
They would come to me.
They would come
Yep,
to you,
yep.
okay.
So we do the
they're
same-
still under your jurisdiction,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We
I
still.
guess that's what my question was just wondering if something happens, then where do these kids go if they're not listed
Yeah.
under your numbers,
Yeah.
okay.
Great question. But yeah, we can definitely add those, Sarah. I mean, it makes sense. They're in the building. We might as well.
That's all I have.
Anything else? Okay, next we have middle school principal.
Madam Chair, Mrs. Zick is not able to make it tonight, but she did put her numbers as well too, along with the Raider online. You can see that we have a total of 19 students for our Raider online program. We also have 104 students in grades 7th and 8th grade. So,
Perfect, thank you.
thank you.
Anybody have any questions there?
Madam Chair, one last thing. I've asked, I've talked to a couple middle school teachers and they're really passionate about middle school, which I completely understand. And I asked them sometime in the month of October to come and do probably a 15-minute presentation about what happens at the middle school and their schedule and so forth. I like to, showcase, I want to try to showcase different things each month of something that's happening in our district. And a couple of teachers asked about that, and I said, why don't you come and present? So I'll keep everybody posted exactly when that is.
Perfect, thank you, Dr. Chris. Okay, we have the high school principal report.
I'm not sure how I'm supposed to outdo Mr. Johnson's introduction, but first on my list was our Raider snapshots, something we're doing a little different this way. At the beginning of the year, I went to a workshop and I think the guy had us do an activity. And what he does is he put us into a group of 8 in a circle, and you picked a leader, and the leader would have, there was a script on the screen, and the script read, 3 brown chickens laid 2 yellow eggs, Seabiscuit had a lobster supper. So the leader would have 30 seconds to memorize that caption. And unfortunately, I was the leader. And like the pressure was on you. And then what you would do is, when 30 seconds was up, you'd whisper to the person to your left, you'd form a circle, and then they would then whisper to the next person, and then the last person around here would then write down what was said to them. And it is really funny what the message gets out there.
Tell them that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so what was said and what was actually on the screen. So we've been working at the high school with, we do great things like everybody mentioned here, but if we don't tell our story, then people get second-hand, third-hand, fourth-hand version of what is done in place. So we started the Raider snapshot, so every Friday you'll see on our Facebook page just different things that are going throughout the school with our Leadership Pride and Achievement winners, our staff winners of the week, but also just things that we're doing in the classroom. So if you have time, take a peek at our Raider snapshots, and I think it's gotten a lot of likes as we've gone through it. So we're trying to tell our positive stories. That's something we're trying new this year. To go along with what Marge was talking about with the Raider Pride, we also have a committee at the high school. We had mentioned at the last board meeting, we're working with Lucas Pickle, which is our Renaissance Jostin, which I'll talk about in a little bit. He works with our classrooms with graduation, but he has a playbook that we can use. So month by month, we'll have different themes that we're going to work to spread the positivity throughout our school. So the first one that we threw out there, we put on the Facebook page, was a picture of the chalk talk of our staff welcoming our students that we had in the front, and then to our athletes on the west door, and then also our senior sunrise. So we sent that in for each month. You can send in different posters, and hopefully one of these times will be a $500 winner, and then we could use that towards building our program. We also, Dr. Berquist and myself also met last week with Naomi. She's from Lakes Country. She is a Compass leader for them that works with climate and culture in the school. So she's gonna work with us with the committee that we developed, which is our PBS team, our student council, our pay group, our National Honor Society. We're collecting nominations of students. Right now the staff is putting in pretty much the legwork to get things going. And then we have students that are gonna take it from there, and we wanna give ownership to our kids and let them take it from there. So then the next poster they can start making and different themes throughout the school. So that's something that we're working on. Naomi said that she has surveys that she's done with other schools. She has different ideas. So you can do the fidelity, like instead of us coming up with questions, but I said, can we tweak it? And I would like to have our students send out the surveys, because I believe that they'll answer them more honestly than an adult center. So that's something that we're working on at the high school level and middle school. So our team's been working. We're gonna meet with her next, be October 10th, coming up on the Friday. Like I mentioned, Jocelyn's will be in here tomorrow to work with our 10th graders on class rings, and then we're already talking graduation caps and gowns, having that conversation tomorrow with our seniors. And then homecoming is next week. So if you were invited to our coronation, which will be next Tuesday at 10:40. In your board report, I have the king and queen candidates with the junior escorts and then the MCs that are in there with the different activities that we have during the week. Our enrollment is, what I gave you at the last report were preliminary numbers. These are actual numbers that we started with. I think the only difference is we had one student that I do believe was in the 10th grade that said they were gonna come and they decided not to. And then our junior class had 2 kids decide to go secondary.
Okay.
So that's the difference between last report and this report.
Well, thank you for the update.
Any questions you have?
Madam Chair, the only question I have is about the last thing that you mentioned, I think it was maybe part of homecoming week. I haven't seen anything about that or any announcements that have come out. Did it go out to just students and guardians, or did it come out to everyone? I'm trying to remember the last thing.
It's on our Facebook.
I think it's on our Facebook as
It's on
well.
our Facebook page and I can send it out to parents if that's, cause it'd be mainly our dress up days that are in there.
No, I think it was an evening thing that you had mentioned.
Powder Puff. It's Powder Puff on the Wednesday, the 1st.
The night game.
That's,
Yes, yeah. Sorry, you mentioned a lot.
Yes.
So I was like trying to keep up. No, I just don't remember hearing something that was happening in the evening time and, or no, the 10:40 thing.
Okay.
What was the morning?
Coordination.
Yes,
Royalty.
okay. So for the board members, and I think most of us work during the day, but I have not received anything about that, and correct me if I'm wrong if we got an email. I would like to attend those things as much as I can as a board member, but I didn't get any information or invite specifically for that event, I guess. We get a lot of emails as board members saying like what's going on, but I feel like maybe if like a week prior or a few days prior, just a kind of reminder, because I would like to attend some things as a board member.
Would you
I
like
just don't
just
get,
the
like,
big
the
events or
same-
would you like all? It's like
All
what's
of
on?
it,
What's-
all
is
of
this
the
good or-
lot.
Okay, or just specific?
I know I'm being difficult, I apologize. I think it's just more of like knowing what's going on, like I put the LPA calendar on my personal calendar, and so it says, there's a board meeting tonight, there's grandparents' day on Thursday, you know, so on and so forth, but if there's a bigger event that you would like us to attend or be a part of, a separate, maybe like calendar invite would be really good for that, so that we know that it's something that you would like the board to attend and not just like an everyday event for the school district. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know
And then let me know if
it's
there's,
asking a lot.
I think it's a fantastic
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
Yep. Cause I would just normally ask my child, but next year I won't even have a child in the high school.
Well, and I mean, mine in the school is 4, so she doesn't tell me anything.
I can send you, like, our music department does a great job, but they have all the events for the
Yep.
year.
Okay,
So that would be, cause I don't wanna like, what is a big event that somebody might be
Sure.
not big, so I
Nope.
don't wanna like.
Programs,
Yeah.
coordinations.
I mean, if anyone else
Snow
has
days.
anything to add or maybe a suggestion to just help us board members know, like, when it is important to the school that you have support and that the board is there.
Okay.
Let's say that, cause we're all somewhat parents, past parents of kids that go here, so we know all the events, but that's as a parent and guardian. I think I'm more questioning like when you would like us as a board to be there and not as a parent or guardian or community member. Does that
Maybe
make
what we can
sense?
do is our, Dr. Berquist and our admin meeting, monthly meetings, can we sit down and kinda make that, so that's a district-wide, that way everybody's aboard?
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. And actually, I would really like to see board members at events like that. So I think that says a lot for our school and our communities, that they see the board members, the superintendent, principals at these events. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, the more we can show our support, the better.
Yeah, I mean, even if only one of us are able to come, but
You can
even if we
represent
can
the
just,
others.
yeah, just take turns and kind of one of us showing up every 6-7 weeks and You know, I mean, I wanna be a part of things, I can't be there every single thing, as I'm sure the majority of the board can be, but if it is important to you or the students or the school or the district, and you want a board member there, I just wanna know that that's what the district needs, and it's not just another regular night or regular game or what have you.
So
I think it
anything
speaks
you
a
would
lot, you
prioritize?
guys, like Susan and Margaret at our open house, like our back to school workshop. And then you, at the end of the school year last year, you guys were serving cookies, I think it
Yeah,
speaks volumes.
yeah, so if there's something specific that you need one of us there, I would rather know that, just looking at the calendar and it's gonna say, everyone's going. No, I want Mr. Meyer to say, I want someone from the board there. I want Dr. Berquist to say, I want someone from the board there, or anyone else, because then we know that our presence is needed and one of us needs to step up and be there.
Thank you.
Like, for instance, Grandparents' Day,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times I'll say, do you need help?
Yeah.
Clean out tables, so,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah, he'll turn
usually
it
on
and put us to
because
work
of
when we're
summer
there.
or something.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
We'll do it with a smile.
yeah, we'll just, I mean, we're volunteering, like that's part of our job. But if we don't know that we specifically are needed there, then honestly, I'm not gonna take PTO and take away from my day job to come and do it unless you say, hey, you should be there. Okay, I'm there.
Perfect.
Perfect. Anything else? Thank you. 5.4, superintendent's report.
Yes, Madam Chair, board members, thank you. I just want to give everybody an update. Myself, Sherry, and the business managers met today for probably about an hour and 45 minutes to talk about different things. I know it was a very powerful message last Thursday, so we are working together on that. I sense in the future that we will have a finance meeting, but I'll keep you posted on that once we get to know more. Wednesday, building and grounds at 4:30, and then we have teacher negotiations at 5:30, and that will be in Lake Park. I would like to set up a policy meeting next week. I know Susan, Marge, and Cole are on that. If there's, I don't know if Wednesday would work, next Wednesday evening, if that would work. Try not to do it during activities, but just let me know if that would work out.
Wednesday evenings don't work well for me at all. Dr.
Oh,
Burgess.
Cole, I'm sorry. Yes,
That's okay.
of course. My bad, Cole. I apologize.
It's all right.
Well, maybe you could have a,
Any other time I'm flexible.
okay. Let me check the schedule next week, Cole. I apologize for that, and I'll send something out to the three of you. Is
Sounds
that okay?
Yeah, great.
Sounds great.
Okay. So like I said, we've been meeting. I've asked Mr. Maston from Lake Agassiz. He'll be on our next meeting. He's our special ed director. I've asked him to come. I know he's meeting with you, Sarah, I think next week. So I did put him in
Yes.
contact with you, Sarah, regarding that question.
Yes,
hope you-
thank you very much. We've been in contact a few times.
Great. And I've asked him to do a short presentation on Lake Agassiz because we do have a number of new school board members, just to talk about what Lake Agassiz does for our district. That'll be in conjunction, probably the same time as the middle school teacher talking about that. I did send out the presentation district-wide this afternoon from last week. And I did mention if anybody has any questions or wants to sit down and talk about it, I'm more than willing to do that. I don't know how you say it. Is it Mojave? Mojave received a call from Mojave and asked if we could please showcase early Head Start position potentially in Audubon. So that's been on we put that on the website, I think 3 days ago. Just in case anybody asks, they'd asked us to send it out. I said, of course we'll do that. I just saw that the letter from the Pumpkin Fest is on our site. It's on Facebook as well too. So if you hear anything about that, remember we're working on this together so that we can provide the bus, and the state of Minnesota will be happy with us. Okay. And in the next week or so, I think I might have mentioned this, the sign that we talked about, south of Lake Park, it should be moved 50 feet to the north probably in the next week or so. And please, if you want to come to lunch at the elementary or the high school, you're more than welcome to do that. I think it would be great to come and sit down, maybe talk to the students and say, hey, I'm so-and-so on the school board. You're more than welcome to attend. We have building grounds on Wednesday night, but you're always welcome to set up a meeting with Mike Zick and or myself to check out the building, and just the buildings and see how things are going. And that's all I have right now, Madam Chair. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions? Do you have one, Marge?
No, I was, wait for Coleman.
Dr. Berquist,
Yes, sir.
in that information that you sent out to the district, in regard to where we're at financially from last Thursday.
Yep.
So in there, it shows that our student numbers are down, our spending is up. So my question is what happens if we use our current budget that we have for this year, along with the current enrollment that we have? Where does that put us at the end of this year? Not with the projected enrollment that we went into. Do we have any idea where we're at?
That's a good question, Cole. You might recall that last Thursday, and Sherry and I met with those ladies Thursday, I don't know, morning, maybe it was Wednesday, I can't remember for sure. I'm not going to lie, I'm concerned about the numbers that we're at right now as opposed to what was put into the levy certification information. Matter of fact, that was and I'm being very transparent here. I want people to know what's going on in the district and so forth, because my understanding that we probably placed them almost 40, we had 40 higher numbers of students, or 40 higher than what we actually currently have. So to answer your question, which I think is we're going to have to seriously look at all aspects of our district, Paul, from administration all the way down to, and everything else, from full-time superintendent to everything all the way down. The only thing is that we were working today on staff development funds. You might recall that the board approved approximately $500 per teacher for staff development in March. And I will take responsibility and said that's just too much. We can't handle that at this point. So we're going to have to be picky and choosy when we have teachers and or paras or administrators going to staff development opportunities, because we could potentially use that money at the end of this year to help offset the general fund, the general ed costs. So I think that kind of was geared towards your question, Cole. If I didn't answer it in an appropriate manner, we're going to have to look at the, like I said, look at the numbers. October 1st is a big deadline for our numbers of students, and I think where we're at is right now with the numbers that the principals provided is kind of where we're at. So we're going to have to take a look at everything. Was that your question, Cole, or not?
Yeah, I'm just seeing that downward trend in terms of our fund balance, and I was, can we look forward and see based on these current numbers that we have for enrollment, can we see where we're at with our fund balance? Because right now, if we're looking at what our projected was, which was 30 students more, that's
cool.
my question.
Cole, are you asking how close we would be to SOD?
Yes, how close we would be to SOD, yes.
So I think in the meantime, Dr. Berquist, what we're gonna do is see what we can put holds on, pull from to be a little proactive in keeping that reserve there so we don't go further into it. So what Dr. Berquist was trying to say, and that's what we talked about it today, is that the staff development funds were previously pulled out of the general fund.
Right.
But we really want to maintain our general fund to be proactive for the SOD. So if we put a hold on that, we have a chance at saving more money there, which could be a substantial amount. We need any little amount right now.
And Cole, honestly, I wish I knew where the fund balance is at right now. As a matter of fact, when I asked our business managers, maybe they're online right now, I don't know, and maybe Sherry's online. But when I asked them, they said, let's hold off, because remember, we're still in the auditing process right now. We're getting audited from our auditors. So I know today there were a bunch of questions on different things. I'm going to guess that it's going to be under 10%. I'm hoping it's not as close to SOD at 2.5%. But I don't know. When I have the answer, I will be very transparent with everybody and let them know where we're at with SOD. The projections we talked about today, we made some changes to more reflect where we're actually at as opposed to what was there before. And we remember we have to go into this system through the Minnesota Department of Education, and soon you're going to have to vote on the levy certification. That changes all the time. And you might recall Wednesday, I have a levy certification meeting at Lakes Country. And if there is a board member that would like to join me for that, you sure can do that. I promise, Cole, I'll be back by Wednesday night if that's something you're interested in.
Sure.
You know, or somebody anyway. You don't have to, but it's probably a 6-hour. I'm sorry, what?
What time on Wednesday, Dr. Berquist?
It's 9 to 3, and they go through it with all the districts, and they have the the finance lady from the state come, and they go through all 39 pages. It's not the funnest meeting. When I go through it, I'll come back and I'll provide the information, but it is informative. Thank you.
I'll check my schedule.
So Dr. Berquist will keep updating us on the reports, and then we'll just, please keep continuing to look into what else we can do in the meantime. Okay, anybody have any other questions there?
I would.
Any other questions for Dr. Berquist?
No, thank you.
Okay, we have the technology update.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I don't know if Mr. McDonald's there, but you can see I actually appreciate all the administrators putting together information, because then people in the community and the school board can see exactly what's going on. But he's been very busy. I know what's kind of going on right now is, I don't know if I can't remember. I'm not very good with technology, but there's a lot of phishing emails out there that are coming, and they're scam emails. And so we've worked on a couple of those, and only in the first 3 weeks of school, I think we've had Mr. Meyer, Mr. Johnson has been there 2 or 3.
Don't answer an email from me.
I know, I got
Hello, everybody.
Been there.
I have a question, and maybe you can answer it, Dr. Berquist.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
he spoke on the theater upgrades, I was wondering if they had any issues installing any of it.
Not that I know of. I guess I'll have to double check, because I think they're still trying to get some things done. And I can check with,
Final wiring and lighting scheduled to be done during MEA.
yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair, I do have one question.
Yeah.
Have we implemented the student cost to the tablets for secondary school?
Yes, we have. Yeah, we talked about that, was approved. Remember, it's, yes, we've implemented that. Mr. Meyer, is there anything you want to add to that?
I'm not sure where John is with, I think he's been so busy just with getting all of our computers up to date and getting them out. I guess I'm not sure where he is in that phase of things, but.
Well, it's been approved, so we will do it for sure, because it was approved at the board meeting August, September, whenever it was. Actually, we're in September now, August. So I'll double check on that and find out where we're at with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, at 5.6, activities director.
Yeah, I just wanna touch on a couple things in there. I just wanna give a big thank you to all those corporate sponsors that have been graciously donating to our corporate sponsorship program. You'll see the dollar amounts pop up, I think, in the donations list, but I wanna say, off the top of my head, I think we're a little over 20 corporate sponsors right now. So big thank you to them. Big thank you to everything that the Booster Club's been doing as well. They put on that little pregame football party that first week of school on that Friday night. It was pretty fun. It wasn't the greatest of all weather. Felt like fall that first week there of school, but we still had a great turnout for that, and had a really good turnout. It was a fun little family opportunity to bring the kids out and enjoy that before the football game. Got homecoming week coming up next week. Mr. Tarman's been doing a great job with student council, getting everything all prepared and organized for that busy week ahead. And then, kind of like I always say, if you want to follow our LPA activities Facebook page, I'm posting stuff on there quite regularly. And then got a link to our activities calendar at the bottom of the page there. And if you want to see the week ahead for rest of activities going on.
I have a question for you, Landon.
Yeah.
Have they started announcing each of the sports accomplishments? I know we had talked about that.
Yeah, so in those links that I have in the board report here, that brings you directly to our LPA activities page in a lot of these, and we're posting, results of cross-country meets, junior high football games.
I think I have seen that multiple times. Are they announcing it during the school day so the other kids can hear what their peers are accomplishing?
Yeah, so one time of the day when we do it is regularly on Fridays.
Okay.
Or sometimes periodically throughout the course of the rest of the week, but typically on Fridays when we're announcing our leadership pride and achievement, we usually give our activities groups little shout outs from night before or even previously earlier in the week as well.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Anything else?
If you want to see a lot of times Mr. Schultz has the huddle, most schools have huddle, so they have a link there, so if you want to see our sports teams on the road or here, like Friday was raining, if you want to be inside, it's an easy way to watch our sports teams too.
And that's on the LPA activities
Yes.
Facebook page?
Yeah, if you follow that page, I'm regularly posting live streaming links for a lot of the athletic events that we have taking place.
Yeah, Mr. Meyer, you can watch the games as well there, can't you?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, 5.7, transportation director.
Madam Chair, you should have a report there. Matt is not able to be here tonight, but does anybody have any questions? I know that they were servicing the two-way radios. So I'm excited to do that. The camera installation has been completed. So that just gives us added security and protection for our students and our staff.
I just have one question for you, Dr. Borquist. How are we sitting on school bus drivers? Are all of our routes covered?
Yes, currently, what? Did somebody say something? No, perfect. I think Mr. Jensen's doing a great job. Yes, all our routes are covered, and I know for a fact a lot of schools in our area they're not covered. So I appreciate our bus drivers and how hard they work.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
If I could add one comment,
Yes, please.
the quality of the cameras and sound are outstanding for the ones that are installed. So Matt does a great job up there as a bus ensign, he'll send it to us and we're able to review them right away, and he's great to work with.
And these cameras are just supposed to see the whole bus, right?
Some,
There's
Leather
some wide
back.
views.
Yep.
And then there's some straight views from my understanding.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, that's fantastic.
because back to school night, they gave they gave some parents the tour of the buses. And he had talked about how some of the cameras were different and So it was good to see, so I'm excited for our transportation meeting. I really am.
Perfect. I'm glad you're excited. Anything else? Okay, 5.8, building and grounds.
Yes, Madam Chair, just talking about some things, Mr. Zick had put this together, but we, you can see they put Wednesday, September 24th at 4:30. We're gonna have a detailed spreadsheet for the building and grounds transportation. Because remember, we only have an hour before teacher negotiations start. So we'll have everything ready for there. We've got some decisions that we need to make on some things, but we do have a state fire marshal inspection coming on October 7th. So the district staff, teachers and staff all know that that person will be coming here on October 7th. Mr. Zick did a nice job of putting out some things that we need to make sure that we're watching for in our classrooms and so forth. So any questions?
Any questions? Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr. Berquist. Okay, 6.0, donations. Whereas Minnesota Statutes 123B.02 subdivision 6 provides the board may receive for the benefit of the district bequests, donations, or gifts for any proper purpose and apply the same to the purpose designation. And the behalf of the board may act as trustee of any trust created to provide pupils of the district with advanced education after completion of high school in the advancement of education. And whereas Minnesota Statutes 465.03 provides any city, county, school district, or town may accept a grant or device of real or personal property and maintain such property for the benefit of the citizens in accordance with the terms prescribed by the donor. Nothing herein shall authorize such acceptance for the use of religious or sectarian purposes. Every such acceptance shall be a resolution by the governing body adopted by 2/3 majority of its members, expressing such terms in full, and whereas every such acceptance shall be a resolution of the governing body adopted by 2/3 majority of its members, accepting such terms in full, therefore be resolved that the Lake Park Audubon School District number 2889 gratefully accepts the following donations as identified below. Thank you to our community for their generous support. We have corporate sponsorship. Muscatel Burns Automotive Group, $500. Muscatel GMC Incorporated, $500. Al's Bar and Grill, Audubon Liquor Store, $400. Dewey's Septic Service, $750. Abbott Arnie Schwint, $500. Seaboys, $750. Team Laboratory Chemical, $300. State Bank of Lake Park, $750. Football Student Activities, State Bank of Lake Park, $300 for a golf fundraiser. Marsh Auto Body, $200 for a golf fundraiser. Lakes Community Cooperative Tools, CAF, $132 in school supplies. Thank you very much for your generosity. And we will do a roll call vote on this one. We're accepting, Sarah,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Marge,
Yes,
Susan, yes, 5 ayes, 0 nays, whereas the resolution was declared duly adopted. Okay. We have nothing in old business, and 8.1 levy certification.
Yes, Madam Chair, I just want to address again, remember, I'm going to try to keep it simple, Simon, KISS method. Remember, the levy certification is on our taxpayers. We have to have that approved by September 30th. The option that most school districts do is that they do the max, right? As I tried to explain this last week, they do the max, which is traditionally, historically done, LPA has done. However, if you don't want to do the max, you can have a number. But remember, in December on the Truth and Taxation meeting, once we get everything finalized, if you decide to go below the max, a certain number, you can do that. If in September you do the max. However, if you put a number down and you say, oh, I don't want to do the max, you, in December at the Truth and Taxation meeting, you cannot go past that number. I hope that makes sense.
Does anybody have any questions?
I do, Dr. Berquist.
Yeah.
I guess it's two parts to the question, but one, do we have specialty taxes or levy taxes incorporated into our budget?
Yes, we do. And actually, one of the board members did a really nice job, and I think I forgot to thank that board member for getting the information. Remember, we have the LOR, local operating referendum, for $724. There's an extra, maybe that board member would like to step up and say what that board member did last week to find out exactly when that expires. It's $196, I believe, that was voted on, I think I can't remember.
We have two, Dr. Berquist, one in 2010 for the new school in Lake Park. That was $21 million.
Yes.
That bond expires in 2027. And then a $22.9 million bond that was approved by voters in 2022, and that runs through 2042.
Right. I guess yes, those are the two bond ones, but I was just talking about the operating referendum.
Oh, excuse me.
And, which is like $196. So Sarah, to answer your question, so we have two for the bonds, which are the buildings, which it's nice that one's going to come off the books in 2027. The other one will stay on the books till 2042, I believe, 2041, 42. So, but we do have an operating referendum that's $196, which is not very much. So, Cole, thank you for providing that information, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, second part to that question, Dr. Berquist. So if we have 196 and we already know what it's going to cost us, and we already know that we have the two bonds that we're paying on, in our budget, did we exceed what our current budget is, so we have some wiggle room, some fluff? Or so that we can just pay this small amount upfront? Or are we looking to pay further taxes by paying it over 7 to 10 years?
I guess I'm not exactly, are you talking about the levy amount? Or what? I'm sorry, I'm not understanding the question.
It's okay.
Are you talking?
Go ahead.
So the levy is the amount that we put onto the taxpayers, right? And the state gives some funding, and the rest of the funding comes from our taxpayers, right? You might recall last week that it was like 14.26 or 62%. The budget for this year at LPA was determined back in June before I got there, right? And it was based on, remember, our money's going to come from our students. It was based on students that we don't have that number of students that it's based on. Okay? So because this levy certification process is such a big thing, it was based on what was projected back in June as opposed to what it really is. Okay? So if we go down to even if we be a little bit conservative, we're off 5 or 6, we're off about 35 students. So the levy certification gets updated every day now until, well, for sure till September 30th, also gets updated in October and November. But it takes like a 24 to 48 hour turnaround when we give them numbers at the state. So the budget itself for this year is we are going to have less money than we anticipated because our numbers of students are not what we currently have. Remember, the auditors and our business managers are still figuring out our budget that ended on June 30th. So the numbers, the big number that we have right now going forward is that we're basing it on about 630, we'll just say 630 students, right? But when it was projected back in June, we were basing it off 660 students roughly. So we're down about 35 students. If you take 35, let's just say 30 times $7,481, that's $210,000 that we're not going to get because of our numbers being lower. Okay, that doesn't mean we're going to ask $210,000 more for our levy certificate for our taxpayers. It just means that the formula is going to change, and that's why most districts do the max, because that max number is probably going to change tomorrow, the next day, and next week for sure. And so that's why most districts won't say, okay, we only want to do 400,000 or 320,000. So hopefully, Sarah, I explained that well enough. Probably not, but the budget, we can't do anything about last year right now, but the budget for this year that started July 1st till June 30th is based on what we have actual numbers of students. Does that make sense or not? Am I?
No, it makes complete sense, and I apologize if I did not ask my question better. So, in our budget, we already have the 2 levies, correct? Because we already have those, so those are in our budget.
Correct.
My question, and I'm gonna try and make it better than the last question, I guess. We have that in our budget, but do we have anything additional in that tax area of our budget, like specialty taxes, already incorporated into the budget, or will this be above and beyond what we budgeted for?
So the local operating referendum, LOR, which the board approved, I don't know, it approved before, that doesn't have to go to taxpayers. Okay, I'm not talking about the bond referendums that we have, the ones that Cole was talking about.
And that's the 720?
724.
Okay,
724. The school board already approved that. By state statute, the school board can approve that without going to the taxpayers. In addition to the 724, we have approximately $196, which at some point would have had to have been approved by the community at some point. That could have been 15 years ago, it could have been 20. I have not had time, honestly, to get to that where that's at. The only way, what's that?
2009.
The only way that we could get some more money is by going out for an operating referendum. Okay? And that's what the district did most recently. Okay?
2 years.
So there's obviously pros and cons going out to operating referendum. At some point, that would be probably a bigger discussion than right now. But the bottom line is we have to probably make right our district first with the number of students that we have. Does that answer? There's no other specialty taxes out there. You know, I'll work on grants, which will help hopefully deplete some of the general ed money that comes out, or community ed and so forth.
It does, thank you very much.
So if we ask for the max now, we
Yeah.
can always lower it later, but
Yeah.
if we set a number now, we can never add.
Right.
Anybody else have any other questions?
And Sarah, Madam Chair, I just so you know, I'm really transparent. I don't want people to think that we're hiding it in the district. What we have and what's been presented is what we have. The business manager and Sue from CISO presented last week. Some of that information, one of the board members asked me, is the same information that I found out in June. And so we got to move forward and try to make things right, and anything that just go forward, I guess. So Thank you, Madam Chair and Sarah.
Just to be clear, Dr. Berquist, I think you are very transparent and I appreciate you very, very much. Most of my questions are for a learning opportunity for me.
Sure.
And that's why I ask it. It's not in doubt of anything else, but I want to make an educated vote. So therefore I ask a lot of questions.
No, I appreciate that, and that's, I feel bad, to be honest with you, if I don't explain it well enough. So if I don't, I apologize, but, look, 39 pages of levy sheets is very complicated, right? It's really complicated, and a bunch of smart people who think they're smart at the state developed that a long time ago, and that's how we have to kind of follow it. So thank you, Sarah.
Okay,
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay, then, Dr. Berquist will be voting on the levy certification tonight.
Yep. If that's what you would like to do, yes, please do.
Okay, would you guys like to vote on it?
Need a motion?
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to levy the max.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. All those in favor say aye, all those opposed say nay.
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Aaron?
Aye.
Cole?
Aye.
Marge? Aye. Susan? Aye. The ayes have it, 5 ayes, the motion passes. Okay, 9.0, succeeding meetings, school board work session, October 8th, 2025, 5:30, Lake Park Audubon High School Media Center. And 9.2, regular monthly school board meeting, October 27th, 2025, 5:30. And I think I asked you earlier, Dr. Berquist, is this one at the elementary school?
Yeah, so I know Susie's there. We put together a schedule, and
Sounds good.
so,
So this one will be at the elementary.
yeah.
Lake Park Audubon Elementary School Media Center.
Yes.
Perfect, just wanted to
Thank
double
you.
check. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Keep switching that
Thank
up. Somebody's gonna have to call me and Jade and tell us where we are because we always go to the wrong freaking school.
The last one that I told you guys, it
That's
was
what's on
indoor
everyone's, you know
dogs.
what I mean, that's everyone, when you go to.
Well, because sometimes I
We
jump
just
on
go to, we just, you
this
know what I mean,
computer and
so
I'm
it's-
like, alright,
that's
let me
what's on
just go
everyone's.
through my emails really
They
quick and
don't-
make sure I don't like need to know something. And then I'll look at the